When Plains Indians acquired horses in the early 18th century, it revolutionized life for most tribes living between the Rocky Mountains and the Mississippi River. In what seemed like an instant, they discovered a far superior method for hunting buffalo, which was the primary source of sustenance across this vast region. They took to the mounted lifestyle with remarkable enthusiasm. With a capable horse beneath him, a hunter could outpace a buffalo, giving him a tremendous edge. Because buffalo herds migrated seasonally across great distances, those who relied on them for survival had to follow. The horse made this migration considerably easier and faster. I can think of very few instances in history where a society's economy and way of life have been so profoundly transformed so rapidly by a comparable advancement. The allure and drama of this vibrant culture has fascinated the Western world, becoming a beloved topic for literature, art, and cinema. The Indian adoption of the horse brings to mind the somewhat parallel technological shift in our own society, brought about by the creation and widespread use of automobiles. The golden age of Indian horsemen endured just over 100 years. Considering how quickly we're depleting our oil and gas supplies and damaging our environment, one has to wonder whether the golden age of the automobile will last much beyond that of the mounted Indian. It's an odd twist of history that horses first evolved in North America, but died out here, even as they flourished in Asia after migrating across the Bering Strait. It's fascinating to imagine how differently history might have unfolded if horses had remained in North America and the tremendous benefits to civilization had emerged first on this continent. Regardless, it seems that very few horses reached Indian communities before the uprising against Spanish rule in New Mexico in 1680. In his excellent book, American Colonies, Taylor notes that this uprising was the most significant defeat that native peoples dealt to European colonization in North America. After that, horses and horsemanship culture swept rapidly northward throughout the entire Great Plains region, extending well into Canada. It's important to keep in mind that before the early 1700s, Plains Indians relied on dogs or people to haul their belongings. The enormous buffalo herds were incredibly challenging for them to hunt since the animals could run much faster than a person on foot. Across the expansive plains, there was minimal cover where hunters could conceal themselves for a stealthy approach. True, clever hunters succeeded in killing buffalo through tactics like advancing under wolf pelts for camouflage or stampeding herds off cliffs. But this didn't yield consistent abundance. Almost instantaneously, as though through enchantment, they found a means to outrun buffalo and transport far heavier loads over greater distances and at higher speeds than dogs or humans ever could. Just as in European cultures, the horse proved to be a double-edged sword since it could serve military objectives. It enabled swift raids on distant enemy settlements, and horse stealing sparked endless hostility. Disputes over hunting territories triggered intense conflicts. Near tribal headquarters, wildlife gradually grew scarcer and sought sanctuary in the buffer zones between rival groups, leading to repeated confrontations between hunting expeditions. Sadly, the golden era of mounted warriors endured barely more than 100 years, representing just a tiny sliver of the 10,000-plus year history of Indians on this continent. With the destruction of buffalo populations, military conquest, and white expansion, the striking culture of these dignified, wandering hunter-warriors was destroyed and exists only in memory now. It's understandable that these people have struggled to adjust to the monotonous reality of stationary life on reservations.